Oh, so it's time for part 2 of our Copa America adventure. It's the conclusion of the group stage today. We take on Uruguay and then Paraguay. Can Qatar make it to the knockout rounds? Oh, this is episode 8. What could be the 8th and maybe final episode? Bit more on that later of Postcards from Qatar. I'm Dodgy Gamer. Thank you so much for joining me today. Just before we get started, your usual reminder, I forgot to do this in the last episode for some reason. This is your one-stop shop for all things international management on Football Manager, so if that's your kind of thing, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, get the bell on for notifications so you don't miss any of the international action. And our international action has taken us as far away from home as Ecuador. Now, if you watched the last episode, you would have seen us get off to a fantastic start to this tournament as one of the guest nations at the Copa America. In case you're wondering what we're doing here, we beat Bolivia 1-0. Unfortunately, though, we didn't fare so well against Chile. We got actually beaten pretty heavily by them. And then Argentina, the oh-so-close game. We fought back from 2-0 down. We equalised with a couple of minutes left, and then, of course, we lost 3-2. So, of course, Copa America, big group, 6 teams, so there's still 2 group games to play. Now, Uruguay are up next, top of the group, although Paraguay did take a point off them. Maybe we can do the same. And then a crucial game against Paraguay, who, as you can see, are in the 4th and final qualification spot. It could well come down to us and them, who goes through next. We're sticking with the same tactic we used against Argentina because, we were able to fight our way back into the game. We were able to restrict their chances. So fewer instructions. We dropped some of the instructions off. So hopefully that's going to give my players less to think about and more focus on the game. So here come the teams. Uruguay against Qatar. In the press conference before the match, they were pointing out that Uruguay are the top goal scorers in the competition. How are you going to cope with that? Ooh, well, with the help of the woodwork by the looks of things. And then, yeah, definitely the help of the woodwork. And then they pointed out that Uruguay have the best defence in the competition. How are we going to break them down? So, yeah, this is going to be a tough job today. But, we will just do our best. Obviously, out here in Ecuador, high altitude, lashing rain. Not the ideal conditions for my Qatari players, but we'll manage somehow. We get a highlight on the ball, but we give it away. Maxi Gomez, Terran's goal. So yeah, we said earlier that this could potentially be the last episode on YouTube of Postcards from Qatar because, we're very likely to get eliminated today, either in the group stage or even if we somehow get out of the group stage in the quarter-final, which we will feature in today's episode if we get there. So once we're done with the Copa America, Almoez Ali nearly got through. But, that was originally as far as I wanted to take the series. And I'm keen to crack on with my main save for Football Manager 2022. So this might be the final episode on YouTube. We will see. But first, let's see what happens with this highlight. Haidos and Ali gets the equaliser. There is some fight in this team. So let's not talk about last episodes just yet. Okay, halfway through the first half now. The good news is this point is enough to move us up into that 4th spot and perhaps give us a crucial advantage over Paraguay in that final match. Right, Uruguay have absolutely dominated this match. We've had 2 shots on target. They were both the same chance, of course, with Haidos's shot being saved and then Ali's second one being the tap-in equaliser. Now, you may have noticed I said this is potentially the end of this series on YouTube, because, of course, I'm not just on YouTube these days. I'm thinking we might migrate the final part of this series over to Twitch, because I'm making preparations for my full series, but I need something to keep Twitch ticking over. So, right after this Copa America, there is more tournament action. Qatar will be playing in the Olympics. If you recall earlier, we've gone 2-1 down. But earlier in this series, I won the Asian Games with the Qatari under-23s. No, sorry, I didn't. I won the Asian under-23 Nations Cup, and we were runners-up in the Asian Games. Now, one of those 2 things, I'm not sure which one, but one of them qualified us for the Olympic Games. So that's coming up shortly after the Copa America. So I'm thinking we'll do that one on Twitch, and we're getting a highlight straight from the kickoff again. Is this going to be a carbon copy of the first half when we equalised quite quickly? Fingers crossed. We hope so. And then, of course, after that, we got the 2026 World Cup. Then 2027, Qatar hosts the Asian Cup. So it would be nice to go up to that point, but I appreciate on YouTube that could take several more episodes. And then if I start my main save on Twitch, getting the recap episodes out on YouTube, it's all gonna, there's not gonna be enough time for it. So I'm thinking we move this over to Twitch temporarily just to finish off. We've gone 3-1 down, damn. But we've got to the Copa America, which was what we wanted to achieve with Qatar and the YouTube save. So yeah, that's just going to be easiest to manage to move this over to Twitch now. Another defeat, a third defeat in a row. It's just those 2 early goals in the second half. We just couldn't come back from that. Now, we've got a bit of a tense wait to see what happens in the Paraguay-Chile game later on today. And this is why I say that. Paraguay are yet to play. They're a point ahead of us. If they beat Chile, they're going to go to 7 points and we will not be able to catch them. We could, of course, then overtake Chile, but then, you know, we're relying on beating Paraguay and other results going our way. That's just too much to ask, I think. Right, so Chile-Paraguay ended in a draw. Chile had a man sent off, so Paraguay might ruin their chances that they weren't able to take all 3 points. That was enough to send Chile through. So all 3 teams that have beaten us are through to the next round. So the best we can hope for is 4th place, but we're going to have to beat Paraguay in our next game to do it. Right, so here we are on the final match day. Now, I know this doesn't really play into the way this group's panned out at all, but it does seem strange that all the matches kick off at separate times on the final day. Well, okay. We need to get victory over Paraguay. Pause for a second, just go down in the comments. Let's have your predictions. Do you think we can beat Paraguay? Yes or no? Scoreline. Add the scoreline if you want to, and then, you know, we'll check back at the end and see if you were right. The big news ahead of this game, though, is Edmilson Jr. is dropped. He has had a terrible tournament, if you ask me. Here we go, got a nice picture of him with his tattooed neck and all. Look at his form in this tournament so far. 6.1 against Bolivia, 6.2s against Chile and Argentina, 6.1 against Uruguay. And he's great when we're playing Sri Lanka, but not when we're playing anybody decent. So, massive game, Paraguay against Qatar. I'm trying my distraction tactics with the shirt again. We'll see how it goes this time, but yeah, we need a win. If we do win and sneak into 4th place, we get Brazil in the quarterfinals. So, yeah. Well, a thrilling first half. No shots on target from either side, and we're goalless. Right, made a few tweaks at halftime. Just told the boys I want them to be a bit more positive, and great, we concede straight away, so whatever. Yeah, said I want to see them more positive, pushing forward a bit more, holding a higher line. We've got a goal down to a free kick early on, and are we going to get picked apart here for goal number 2? Oh, they've hit the post. He was offside anyway, but yeah, looks like my changes, my master plan, hasn't quite worked. Right, so we've changed our shape a bit. We've gone 4-2-3-1. See if we can get something going in this final 10 minutes. Here we go. Ali, come on, let's get a shot off here. If we can level things up now. Ooh, that's the closest we've gone all night. If we could have leveled up there, would have made for an interesting final 10. Could still be interesting. So here we go, 8 minutes left on the clock, but that ball was overhit and Paraguay now launched the counter-attack. Kaku, we've pushed him wide, but he's got the cross in and the tap in for Romero at the far post. We have come back into it in the second half a bit, but it's been too little too late. Oof, finally a good effort on goal from us, but no. The Copa America ends for us here. Disappointing that we couldn't get a win over Paraguay. Let me know down in the comments if your prediction was right or not. So, don't like what happened there. Akram Afif, look at that, 5.7. Almoez Ali, again, we've seen it with him in the World Cup, in the Asian Cup, just no showing in the big game when the chips were down. So we end up 5th in the group. I mean, if Bolivia beat Chile, we could end up bottom still. Well, Bolivia and Chile played out a thriller of a 3-3 draw, but that means, well, there's a quarter-final draw. We're not in it. We don't play Brazil, which I suppose is good for us. But yeah, that's how our group finished. We won our opening game, and then it was all downhill from there. That was as good as it got. And there's the confirmation of the results in Group A, if you are a completionist. Alright, so we've holidayed through to the end of the tournament. As you can see, Argentina were the eventual champions, so at least we were beaten, narrowly beaten, by the eventual winners. Venezuela, overachievers. Ecuador, the hosts, underachievers, only picking up 2 points in the group stage. And there you can see how those quarterfinals played out. Mexico, the other guest nation, made it all the way to the semi-final. It was, yet again, an Argentina-Brazil final. Argentina coming out on top for the second tournament in a row. And our assessment from the Qatari FA, one of those things where Football Manager need to sort out the standard phrases that are lifted and pasted into these generated messages. Because on the one hand, they're pleased we were competitive, and on the other hand, they hope we will show better performances in the future. And we've unfortunately dropped down the world rankings after that tournament from a high of 34 down to 42. So what next? Well, as I said, this is the end of the road for the series on YouTube. We've still got a qualifying campaign to go through for the World Cup, and we should have, the Olympics coming up. Argentina again, Spain. I'm not sure of our progress there, but if you would like to see this in action, I'm thinking, it's not definite yet, but I may well do this on Twitch, so make sure you're following me on Twitch to catch up on some of that action. Also, make sure you're following me on Steam Workshop, where I've started to upload my additional international competitions to the game. That's one thing we may see appearing on the channel in the near future, some little mini playthroughs of some of those tournaments to showcase them a little bit. I've also got a channel update, which might already be out, but might be out the day after this video. Keep an eye out for it anyway, just to give you a bit more detail about what's going on with the channel. But thank you very much for watching, as ever. Much appreciated. Hope you've enjoyed this journey with Qatar. We didn't really have great success outside of the under-23 team. I mean, quarterfinals of the Arab Cup, quarterfinals of the Asian Cup, group stage of the World Cup and the Copa America. But fun to try out a different nation and fun to go on this journey with you. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure you've subbed to the channel, you like this video, got the bell on for notifications and all that stuff, and then we'll see you again soon.